Welcome to Talk. Now, a total of 9 incumbent members of Parliament lost their bids to contest the 2020 parliamentary election on the ticket of the NDC in Saturday's primaries. The NDC started its parliamentary primaries with 524 aspirants battling it out for spots in 163 constituencies last Saturday. There were no elections in 74 constituencies. 5 constituencies have been put on hold pending investigations by party special committees set up to address internal issues. Here are the 5. Aswase, Mpoho, Yellow Krobom, Fantiakwa North, and Elembele. Some of the shocks, some of the big names that fell on Saturday. Joseph Yelichire lost the WA slot to Peter Tubu, who is a former executive secretary to the immediate past Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asante-Apieto. He resigned to contest in this particular primaries. That's generating a lot of conversations as well. Emmanuel Ni Okai-Lai, Amasaman constituency, Matthias Kwame Into, our Win constituency, Amenga Itogo, Chiana Paga constituency. Of course, Ras Mubarak is also one of the big names. Kumbungu constituency, who will not be going back after this term, if you like. Eric Osayo Wusua Frank Plains South constituency also losing in that race. One person who came through strong is Ebi Bright, Tema Central. She joins me for a conversation. Good morning to you. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Mama V.
Is it more like, were you not supposed to go back, or you were not going to go back? And then you did.
Well, the last time we spoke, as at the last time we spoke, the decision was firm, that I didn't feel that I, needed to go back. I felt that I had done my bit for Tema Central, and I was hoping that someone would take over. But you look at a lot of things, a lot of issues, and you realize that you have a lot more work to do. And that my duty isn't done yet to my party, to my constituency. And so it's another call to service that I've responded to.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This trip, you didn't, well, at least to us in the media, you were not like everywhere. You were very silent.
Yes. Well, for me, because it felt more like a continuation. I'd already... if you remember, my first outing was a unanimous showing you because I went unopposed. But it's always been important to me to grow the NDC as a party in Tema Central. So this contest is one of my dreams come true. I didn't, it wouldn't happen again that Tema Central is considered some ground that nobody wants, and it's just there for whoever feels sorry for the NDC to pick up. This time we had 3 strong comrades contesting for that position. And, well, the results show that Ebi Bright was the clear choice. So it wouldn't be said anymore that, she went unopposed and it's because there's nothing going on there. There is a lot going on there.
You sound like you like competition. The fact that other people contested makes you feel better, at least.
It's not the competition. If I like competition, I would have been in the competition. I really wasn't in the competition. I didn't go around campaigning. I went around engaging the constituents on the issues because this is my constituency. I understood, and I do understand it. I understand what we need. And I was focused on addressing those things. And one of what we need, or one of what we needed, is this contest, because the NDC in Tema Central needs to build its structure and relationships. And this is one of the key processes that cements our internal democracy. We've never had this opportunity before. So as I moved around, I was just so happy. One of the happiest days of my life in that constituency. In this whole political...
Was last Saturday?
Yes, was Saturday. I just seeing people come out and knowing that they weren't there just because one person was out there to represent us, but that they were going to make a choice. And just taking the constituency through that process for me was more wonderful than anything else.
I have to ask you this particularly because you're a young person and there are other young people who want to go into party politics. What does it take to win a party primary?
It depends on what you're looking at. And I think that unfortunately the focus is so much on winning the party primaries and being the party candidate that we don't look at the issues. Constituency by constituency, the needs are different. In my constituency, winning the primaries is not necessarily the goal. There's some constituencies, once you win the primaries, you're assured of your seat in Parliament. It's not so, at least not for the NDC in Tema Central. There's a lot of work to do. And in my case also, I think that my number one task is supporting the party structure because we're an infant constituency and in not a recognized stronghold for the NDC. I say recognized because we need to do some work to prove that we actually could be the preferred choice, you know, preferred political affiliation for Tema Central. And we need to do the work. And so I'm focused on the work. So it depends on what the dynamics are in your constituency.
Okay.
Yeah, and for mine, I think that engaging the people and looking at leadership not only in the party and for the party, but to the constituency at large. How do we make the NDC strong and attractive, not only to its own members, but to people looking on the outside? How do we prove to the constituency at large that we can provide them credible and capable leadership in Parliament? So this is what I'm focused on.
But this is not the first time that you've come this far. You've actually gone into the real elections, the main elections, let me say.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make it to Parliament.
Well, like I said, in my constituency is three different things that we need to be looking at. The NDC we're infant in that constituency. In fact, in 2012, and I want to use this opportunity to thank all our pioneers, including the first parliamentary candidate for Tema Central, James Enu, lawyer James Enu, who took us into the contest with just a few months into elections. And he was actually from Tema West. So 2016 was the first time we produced a candidate, myself, who went unopposed. Not because I'd convinced everybody that I was the best person, but because practically, as at this time, you know, there was hardly any conversation about who was going to lead the constituency. And so I took up the challenge to make sure that we express the fact that the NDC does exist in Tema Central and that we're vibrant enough to be a credible force. And so that was the job for 2016. Of course, the goal was to get to Parliament, but political games are cumulative. And I do have the patience and the grit, you know, the confidence and the stamina to withstand the journey.
Okay, so have you done work enough? I mean, essentially I'm asking, is this it? Well, are you going now? Have you done all the work, all the background things?
This is it. This is it. I mean, you'll see if three people come up to contest, very keen competition. Very keen competition. I hope that you noticed. It was very keen competition. Comrade Sedina Matanawi was all over, social media, everywhere, which I didn't do for primaries because I went straight into the national election. So I gave them the open playing field. I didn't even engage at all. You know, she was there, Carl Owumpesika, the whole constituency was alive and beautiful. And I think we've sent a clear signal to whomever is looking, both within our constituency and outside, that we're serious. Imagine all these forces together towards 2020. It's not going to be an issue of Ebi Bright. We've sold this person already. We've announced our presence and the fact that this person is going to be leading the constituency. This time we showed them that we just don't have one person to show you. We have a whole force of capable, credible people who can push to make sure that we give the constituency what it deserves.
Are the two helping you out? You know, now that you've chosen to represent the constituency, are they supporting you? Do you know if their supporters are on board? Are they coming out for you?
Well, they'll have to be. The one thing that we share in common, first of all, is the fact that we're all comrades. Comrades meaning that we're all members of the NDC. And for people to take up this kind of challenge to run a whole campaign to this stage is because that they mean well for the party. And so I'm sure that we will all do the needful. We've just come out of elections, and we need to sit down and strategize and fuse all of that. But it's something that I'm very hopeful will happen. We've talked among ourselves. The three of us have talked, especially as they called me to congratulate me, even on the
Election.
once the elections,
Saturday.
yeah, on Saturday, once the elections were announced, you know, Carl came over and said, "My sister, I congratulate you." And you know I'm on board. To be honest, we take it for granted. It's not even something we need to discuss, you know, because
I saw all three of you when the elections, when voting was still going on.
Yeah,
I saw all three in the conversation. And
it was a beautiful atmosphere. I mean, there are always, issues that come up, you know, during campaign. Unfortunately, this is the first time we're going through this. And so I said to everybody, we have to be patient. We don't even know how to compete among ourselves yet. And so we have to be patient with some of the acrimonious or potentially acrimonious things. And well, I have a background in conflict resolution, in mediation. So I'm waiting to put everything on board together and let us come together, but we will. So that's not a worry at all.
I know you were minding your own business in Tema Central. You probably didn't pay attention to the other constituencies, but it's been at least 2 days now. Nano Yelita couldn't make it for Adenta. Victoria Hammer couldn't make it as well. She later posted on Facebook making allegations of vote buying. Ras Mubarak has indicated that he's prompted the BNI because in his constituency he alleges that a lot of monies were exchanged and things like that, even making reference to money laundering and so on and so forth. How much does money contribute to these internal elections?
Mobilization is an expensive thing. I don't think that we should imagine that votes should be bought, and that would be very unfair. I remember complaining about it on this show, that, I mean, people expect that, oh, you're going to meet Ebi Bright and she's sharing 50-50 CDs and all of that. No. But there are certain provisions that are made. I know, for example, that the party itself, the party as a structure, made provision for transportation to be paid for each delegate, because we come from across, and when these are being disbursed, I mean, some people can use that. I mean, in my constituency, for example, it was used as a tool to convince people to vote for a certain candidate. But this is money that is there for everybody, for their transportation. It's part of what we have to do, you know, to make sure that the elections, you know, take place. And so, you know, there are all kinds of things.
But as a team, you didn't facilitate anybody's...
No, you facilitate a few things. You make sure there's food, there's water. I mean, we're there and we're jubilating. That's only responsible. You know, that's responsible. You must take care of your people. As far as vote buying, the danger with that, the funny thing about that is, how do you know what somebody does when they go, you know, into that booth? So
you give the most.
You give.
So if somebody's given 100 cedis, you up it and give 150 or 200.
Yeah, but they've collected. They collect from everybody, but they still have a preferred candidate. The money doesn't determine the votes.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't think that it does. I think that we should take care of the constituency, and that's what I concentrated on doing. So, for example, I put infrastructure. I mean, there's been a persistent issue in the constituency. We need infrastructure at the branches. We need to have meetings. So I provided chairs. For me, things that we can put down and pass on from year to year are more important than this one. But things like transportation for each delegate, which the party does by itself, for me is okay. But some, like I said, some people, you know, in every situation, people always find ways to do this and that. And I don't want to speak generally because I don't know what the specific concerns are. But if they're taking them up, fine. I honestly, unfortunately, do not prescribe to this Facebook and all the media publicity to you know, deal with our issues. There are several petitions I know pending with the party. And you yourself listed out 7 constituencies which are put on hold to investigate. I think that that's the way to go. We should be able to resolve issues internally.
So if people have their suspicions and issues, you prefer that they would go to the party structure?
Yes, okay. Facebook is not going to help the issue.
Well, maybe you don't want to necessarily make a report to the party, but you want your following to understand what probably went wrong, why you didn't win.
Yes. Yes, I, for example, have a couple of petitions which I'm hoping that the party would look into.
But you won. What issues do you have?
I did say that I didn't feel that those issues will severely compromise my votes. They might have reduced the margin a little bit, because I felt that a lot of things were done to favor one candidate or the other. But I was confident already in my margin. I'd already made my minimum mark. So I was confident about the rest.
Oh, so you had filed the complaints before you went into Saturday's election?
Most definitely, and all of those things are pending. And so some of them don't get resolved before you go into elections. But you must make a decision for the health of a party. In my situation, Tema Central, like I said, is a foundling. And so, you know, you need to protect it a little bit more. Some places can afford to fight and to battle. The stakes are higher. You know, within the party there. So I wouldn't begrudge anybody.
So what were your specific issues? Do you still want the party to sit on it and address?
Well, they have to. We need to get better, you know, every day. You have to improve on the structures. I mean, we're sitting on a better election this time in Tema Central than in 2016. Even though I went unopposed, there were many things that if we had had a contest might have had to be resolved. But we allowed time to take care of a lot of them. This time we had 3 contestants. And so most of the issues that I raised were not issues that affected only me, but in the interest of, you know, things being fair.
But you say things were done to favor a particular candidate.
Yes.
So things such as what?
You know, sometimes you have issues with the register, some, you know, names which shouldn't be in it, and all kinds of processes. And to be fair, the party does give us, you know, guidelines and structures to resolve all these things. But like I say, the human factor is always what it is. And so unfortunately, at a time like this, you might not have the opportunity to have sanctions put on people who defy these structures. And some patience usually takes care of it. In my case, it would be. We finished the elections. The margins are so clear that it doesn't matter either way. But at the end of the day, for some people, it's critical. And so I'm sure that the party is looking.
So how many in all? How many issues do you have in all that you're hoping the party can resolve?
I mean, issues, maybe about 3 different issues. But they're not, like I said, they're not critical. We went through very peaceful elections. And half of that is also the personal responsibility that you have to take as a candidate. Having information on the ground, the party can only do so much. It provides a structure. You, the candidates, are on the ground. You're supposed to know your constituency enough to be able to make up for some of the lapses and inefficiencies as well. It's your leaders, you know, so it's our leadership responsibility to help the structure.
Is the message to party delegates different from the one to everybody else when you're finally, as in 2020?
Oh, well, yes, and which is why I like to contain the internal primaries. For me, the internal primaries is not a time to be going all over Facebook. My delegates, those who decide who should lead them, are within the constituency. In my case, they're about 900 people, approximately 900 people. And these are the people that speak for the rest of us. I mean, as I speak, until I became the parliamentary candidate elect now, I was under a branch leadership. And so my chairman and all my branch executives are the ones who represent, you know, what goes on in my branch on my behalf. And these people that make the decision speak for all of us. And those are the people that you need to address. And so I didn't spend a lot of time, going out and, doing a very visible media campaign or radio and everything. I was speaking to them in the branches and dealing with the issues.
But that also required some resources. How much in all, if you can put a figure to it, how much would you say you spent on this campaign alone?
I'm going to tell you something, advice that was given to me just as I made my debut into this business. Don't count what you spent. And there's something that has always gone with me. There's God makes provision for anything that needs to be done. Maybe it's because of the kinds of things that I choose to spend on. I always push to solve problems, and problems are solved. I provide what is needed. So my team.
Why not count what you spent? At least you want to assess. And
yes, it's different. I'll tell you. Like I said, many of the things that you spend on. You see, you wake up in the morning. You have a budget because this is what you're specifically going to do. Or transportation, fuel to get to this place or that, or exactly, for your team or something, which I've not even had to do. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the people who worked with me on this.
So what do you do differently? Because some other people, use a lot of money.
But at the end of the day, you step out of the house and you meet a comrade who has just been rushed to the hospital. Someone's just had a heart attack. These people can't afford the care. Or what happened to your health insurance is expired. Oh my God, and the health insurance is only covering so much. And then quickly, this is what takes my attention. So like I said, I mean, for me, it wasn't about campaigning, but going around and engaging with my people and solving the problems. The only thing that I did that I can count was a real cost, was to make sure that each branch received a minimum of 10 chairs across board. And, so across all the 96 branches that are active in my constituency, everybody received 10 chairs, at the cost of maybe 60 cedis per chair. Times 10. So 600 cedis per branch for the chairs times 96. We did 1,000 chairs, actually. So that is just one major cost that I can count. But every day you spend money because people are hungry, people need help. You get to someone's house and the electricity is run out. So we're family. You don't count these costs. Yeah.
Let me just say that John Dumelo also won the Ayawaso West Wuogon primaries. He was expected in the studio, but for some reason he couldn't make it. He's joined us via phone. So let me say hello to you, John. Congratulations. It's appropriate.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. Have you gotten over the win yet, or it's still unbelievable?
Well, I have. I think work has already started.
And Ebi Bright is in the studio, by the way.
Hey, bro.
Hey, how are you?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I think I can say for you that it's not a shock, is it? It's expected. Well done, bro. I'm so proud of you.
You have to share dedicate sometimes, but...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so John, I'm just going to ask you a question that I put to Ebi. What does it take to win a political party primary?
You mean, sorry, I didn't hear the question again.
What does it take to win the primaries that you've just won?
I think it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of one-on-one engagement. I think for me, that's what does it. Or that's what did it for me. If you recall, I was supposed to contest in the by-election, which I didn't. And so from the by-election time, which is around December, up until now, so you can say for about 9-10 months, I had been continuously working in Ayawaso West and, sort of doing one-on-one engagements. And I think that's what worked.
What was your specific message, and going forward, now that you are candidate-elect, what would be the message? Because this time around, you're not necessarily speaking to only NDC people.
I think my specific message is just involving everyone in the campaign. I think history has taught us that sometimes most of the parties, most of the party hierarchy didn't probably involve everybody. And moving forward, I think the grassroots are the key the grassroots are the men and the women who actually are on the ground and they know everything from beginning to end. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, involving everybody in my campaign start. And that was my campaign message during the primaries. It's like, look, you know what? I'm going to involve everybody in the campaign. The campaign is just not going to be limited to a certain group of people. I'm going to involve each and every branch executive, each and every opinion leader in each area. And I think that's what's going to work for me.
In your constituency, there's a huge student population. And from the 2016 election, we know that the NDC didn't particularly benefit from students. What are you going to do differently?
Well, once again, I mean, for the last 10 months, I've been working continuously on Legon campus. At Legon campus, we also have other tertiary institutions in the constituency as well. I've been working there and engaging the students. And I think we have been able to come up with a solid plan to involve the students a lot in this upcoming elections in 2020, and that's exactly what it's going to do for us.
John, Ebi has been here before, but she lost the main election. So, what is it that you want to tell him? Because you've been here before, been a candidate, gone into an election, and then you lost.
Well, the only thing I'll say to John is that my loss is not a prediction for either one of us this time. The dynamics in his constituency are different, and as far as I'm concerned, he's already in Parliament. So, dude, keep on doing what you're doing, comrade. I'm solidly behind you. I've got my own job to do in Tama Central, which is different.
Yeah. So essentially, what I wanted, to bring out of you is. You learned lessons after that election.
Yeah.
Maybe if you were to advise yourself even before you went into it, there was something that you probably wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
So based on that experience, if there's one thing that you would say that you learned, what would it be so that he can learn from it?
Well, John actually has already said it, which is the inclusion. Our people need to be included. So the less inclusion, the bigger the margin of failure. And so he said it already, and that's why I said, look, he's already there because he's said it all. So, dude, congratulations.
So,
thank you. Congrats.
Okay.
Okay, so John, I have heard that the incumbent MP is a grounds person. And even when the late, may his soul rest in peace, the late member of Parliament, she was very instrumental in his election as well. So you're going to come up against a very strong candidate. And I hope that you're aware of that.
Well, I mean, yes, I am. But they are primaries in about a month. And if she wins, that's fine. If any other person, that's fine. Regardless who wins, I know for a fact that in 2020, NDC is going to take the seat. I mean, mind you, looking at the statistics, I mean, if you take 2012 and 2016, and NPP only increased their votes by just 750 between 2012 and 2016. And so it's not like it was a marginal increase. We lost by 10,000 in 2016 because there was general voter apathy and people didn't just go and vote. And so, I mean, as we speak, I feel and I know that with a lot of hard work, we will win. A lot of people also say that, yes, the NPP are well resourced, and so on and so forth. But look, in 2016, NDC was well resourced, but we lost the election. And so it's sometimes not really about resource. It's about putting in place certain strategies that you need to be able to win elections.
Just before you go, one of the biggest issues coming out of the Saturday's primaries is vote buying. It's made huge headlines because of some of the allegations that some of the those who took part in the contests are flying around. In your particular constituency, I'm not sure we've heard anything like that. But no. What's your general take on it?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't really define what vote buying is. I mean, look, before the elections, I was paying school fees for delegates. Before the elections, I was giving out loans to women who are delegates to expand their business and so on and so forth. I don't think that's vote buying. I think for me, it is helping people to be able to expand their businesses or helping people and so on and so forth. I even donated plastic chairs to certain branches because at the end of the day, when you go and you speak to them, they say that, oh, John, we don't have plastic chairs. We rent plastic chairs. And I was like, no, okay, then let me get you plastic chairs. So all these things are things that I have been doing. I don't think that is vote buying. I think you are people say that, there was a lot of vote buying. I don't think.
But are these things that you would do even if you don't win?
Yes, exactly. I mean, look. From 2012, I was paying fees for people in Lagos campus. I don't think that was vote buying. I think I was just helping the community, and so it's not. I mean, there's a thin line between helping somebody and saying that you are buying votes. You are not buying the votes, because at the end of the day, the good thing about Ayawaso West is that the delegates, the NDC people in Ayawaso West, are hungry for the seat, and so they wouldn't want you to buy a conscience. They want you to just win the seat and deliver the seat for them.
Okay, John, we'll leave it here. But you have one thing in common with Ebi. She also bought chairs for the constituency.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations to you. That's NDC Parliamentary Candidate-elect for Ayawaso West Wuogon, John Tumelo, joining us via phone. So he also did buy chairs.
Yeah, for 7 branches. I did for all the branches, but that's, I mean, beside the point. So he's confirmed most of what I've said. You attend to the needs, infrastructural and the personal needs. We need to support each other. We're family.
But you know that when you finally get into Parliament, this would double, triple, quadruple in terms of the assistance that people would require from you?
Well, I'll tell you what, it is the culture of our how would I say, of the Ghanaian community. He told you he's been doing this since 2012. He's been paying school fees. He wasn't contesting then. I've been doing the same. I've been doing for the past 15 years. While I was a student, I was paying for other students. I have.
Where are you supposed to raise the funds from?
Well, you know, you do what you can. You support each other. I mean, you know, it's, how would I say, privilege is something that we shouldn't take for granted. There are a lot of people who need support, you know, and a lot of things that we take for granted. You know, I put 500 CD fuel in my car for a few days. You know, I can drive a smaller car and, you know, and help people just because of our situation socially. So I'm saying you decide what to spend your money on. Whether you earn, however you earn, you decide what to spend your money on. Some of us are social workers, so we live very simply so that we can carry along more people and support each other. It's just a personal thing, really. I don't think it's anything about the office. It's the fact that once you're recognized and visible, you are in position to observe people's problems. You're in a position to hear. The more you go around, the more you recognize the need. You know, sitting comfortably in your homes, and that's why sometimes I envy some of you with clear jobs, 9 to 5 or TV, just go home and sleep. For those of us who work on the field, it's not the people that demand. It is your conscience and your heart, your mind that tells you that you must intervene. That's what it is.
What's the plan going into 2020? Now you are a candidate-elect.
Yes. Well, the plan is to take the whole constituency along with me. And I say the whole constituency because in 2016, we were able to prove that the NDC's candidate in Tema Central was not just a candidate for the NDC, but was a gift from the NDC to the constituency at large. And so I think that we've proven in our choice of projects and interventions that we will not only take care of our own, but we're taking care of Tema Central in general. And so the plan is to get each and every one of us involved in that process, to get each and every NDC member as a credible ambassador of the party in the constituency, and to show by leadership, by example, that we can and are the right people to lead our constituency.
What was the message? And I have to ask you this because of the closeness. What was the message from Mr. Rawlings to you on this win?
On this win, I think it's big. You know, it's funny. He's so busy with all the children. Zanata won her seat. I won her slot again. I did, but 2 of our own didn't make it. And he's concerned about how many of us he can, you know, rely on. He knows who we are and he knows what we want for the people And he's a key factor in encouraging us to step up and represent the party, be good ambassadors of what it is that we stand for. So he's been quite busy, and I think that he's got so many children all across the country. He's looking at everything that is going on. And so for me personally, I've allowed him to concentrate on everybody, but he's happy. I know that he's very happy. I know that he wishes that a lot more of us had made it through.
So going forward back again into 2020, what's the particular message? Do you have a message yet? Do you have a message yet? Because the campaign starts like right now. Yes,
well, finally, I mean, Tema Central, we're here again. I mean, they've recognized us from 2016. The message is that, this time around, they need to make sure that we have a credible and capable voice in Parliament. It's always been our intention to give the constituency a voice, to articulate the needs and to represent the constituency in the best way possible. And they have it in Ebi Bright. I'm happy for the opportunity to come back to do this task. And this time, we expect that the whole constituency gives us the endorsement, not only the NDC.
You have to do more than twice what you did. 31.19%, representing 12,937 votes. That's what you did the last time. And the winner of that contest, Kofi Bracco, polled 28,334, which is 68.31% of the vote. So you have a lot of work to do.
Yes, I do. But I also want to assure everybody that the NDC has put its strongest where it's toughest. And we are determined to, we've already proven that we're capable. And so all we need is their support, and we will deliver.
I was personally heartbroken the last time when you were so sure that you weren't going to do this. So coming back this way, I am happy for you. And I really pray for you that you pull through in 2020.
Thank you. It's a response to the heartbreak that most people have expressed, and my own. So I thank God that I'm here again. And we're focused on the work. It's not about winning the primaries right now. So I've passed that stage. For me, it's a continuation of the work, and we're straight on it.
Okay. All right. So congratulations again. All the best with all the work.
Thank you very much.
We will see you, I guess, in the coming days. We will be updating our viewers on some of your works. All the best in 2020. I can't say that enough. Thank you for making it.
Thank you, Mama V. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. So that's the NDC's parliamentary candidate elect for Tema Central, Madam Ebi Bright. Stay with us. You're watching the AM show. There's still a lot more to come.